The genus Paianitis evolved to thrive in the high-humidity, nutrient-dense canopies of the Amazon basin. Their reproductive biology is directly tied to the specific ecological rhythms of this tropical rainforest. There are two primary species in aviculture, the black-headed caique, or Paianitis melanocephala, and the white-bellied caique, Paianitis leucogaster. Maintaining strict genetic purity between these two distinct evolutionary lines is a baseline requirement for responsible breeding. In this masterclass, we are leaving standard companion pet care behind to examine the strict data-driven protocols required for professional aviculture. Transitioning a caique from a household environment into a high-yield breeding program requires discarding conventional setups. The physical space and the daily management routine require a total overhaul. We will build this process on three pillars: precise environmental engineering, the synchronization of neuroendocrine triggers, and targeted clinical interventions for neonates. In a captive environment, successful reproduction is a meticulously engineered biological outcome. Caiques are a monomorphic species. Males and females possess identical physical characteristics, making visual sexing impossible. Before any pairing can be attempted, the exact sex of every bird must be confirmed through either surgical endoscopy or laboratory DNA testing of polled feathers. The most common failure point for amateur breeders occurs immediately after sexing. Taking two isolated birds and forcing them into a shared enclosure frequently triggers acute territorial defense. In many cases, this forced pairing leads to fatal aggression. Professional facilities bypass this risk entirely by employing the flock choice strategy. Instead of isolated pairing, juvenile birds are placed into a communal flight enclosure. They remain in this shared flock environment as they mature over the course of 2 to 3 years. During this maturation period, breeders observe the flock for specific social cues. Consistent allopreening, where birds groom each other's feathers, and mutual regurgitative feeding indicate that an autonomous bond has formed. Allowing the birds to utilize their natural ethology to select their own mates yields direct results. Autonomous pairs exhibit higher initial fertility rates, lower instances of egg destruction, and stable parenting behaviors. Once a bonded pair is identified, they must be rehoused. Standard pet cages lack the spatial geometry necessary to support a breeding cycle and effectively suppress reproductive instincts. This 3D schematic outlines the 30 by 30 by 60-inch dimensions required for a professional breeder enclosure, suspended 4 feet above the floor to establish vertical dominance. Opaque visual barriers prevent neighboring pairs from bickering. The 60-inch horizontal span provides a straight flight path, preserving muscle tone and preventing obesity. At the front, an external L-shaped boot box and bumped-out feed station protect the diet. The boot box's upper chamber separates the guarding male from the incubating female below. With the physical architecture optimized, the next step is neuroendocrinology. We must alter the pair's diet to simulate the end of the Amazonian rainy season, which signals that food is abundant enough to support chicks. We introduce palm nut fruit extract oil into their feed. This specific oil replicates the dense essential fatty acids found in wild Amazonian fruits, serving as a primary biological trigger for reproductive condition. Alongside the oil, the pair receives soaked and sprouted seeds, plus specialized egg food. This combination delivers the acute spikes in living enzymes, protein, and calcium required for egg production. Combining precise aviary geometry with these specific dietary inputs synchronizes the pair's hormonal cycles for active reproduction. Generating a fertile egg is only the first biological hurdle. The highest mortality rates in aviculture occur during the incubation period and the immediate post-hatch window. To maximize hatch rates, professional facilities utilize a methodology known as parent starting.
Under this protocol, the eggs remain in the boot box with the parent birds for exactly 12 days. Natural parental incubation provides the embryo with a biologically robust start that artificial machines cannot replicate in the first week. After day 12, the eggs are pulled for artificial incubation. This removes the severe risk of the parents suddenly destroying, eating, or abandoning the clutch. This digital display shows the precise clinical parameters required for caique eggs. The incubator must be calibrated to maintain exactly 37.3 degrees Celsius with an ambient humidity of 50%. A newly hatched day 1 neonate is incredibly fragile. They weigh between 4.5 and 7 grams, are completely blind, and lack any insulating down feathers. For the first 5 days, the chick must be moved to a specialized brooder. The internal temperature must hold strictly between 97.3 and 98.3 degrees Fahrenheit, with humidity pushed up to 70 to 80%. Hand-feeding these neonates presents a severe anatomical challenge. Caique chicks are highly vocal feeders, and this vocalization forces their glottis to remain fully open while they bob for food. This macroscopic cross-section illustrates the danger. With the glottis open during the feeding response, the airway is entirely exposed. If the formula is delivered too quickly, it bypasses the esophagus, enters the lungs, and causes fatal aspiration. Strict atmospheric temperature control and hypervigilant slow feeding mechanics are the only methods to bypass the inherent vulnerabilities of the Caique neonate. Even with perfect feeding protocols, hand-reared chicks face severe physical risks. The most common developmental orthopedic disorder is splayed leg, also known as spraddle leg. Splayed leg stems from structural tendon weakness. It is triggered either by temperature fluctuations during the incubation phase or by placing the chick on a slick brooder surface where it cannot gain traction. In this clinical demonstration, you can see the mechanical failure in real time. The lateral leg tendons fail to support the weight of the body, causing the legs to slide outward on a smooth surface. The chick is immediately disabled. It cannot stand, walk, or reach its food. Left uncorrected, this deformity hardens into a permanent disability, leading to the death of the bird. This schematic illustrates the vet wrap hobble method. A 1/4-inch strip of vet wrap circles one shank, bridges the gap beneath the bird, and wraps around the opposite shank. The objective is to physically force the legs into a natural shoulder-width stance, aligned squarely under the body's center of mass. This temporary brace allows the tendons time to heal. As this warning graphic indicates, the wrap must never be stretched during application to avoid cutting off circulation and causing vascular necrosis. Furthermore, because pediatric growth is exponential, the hobble must be removed, inspected, and reapplied every 24 hours. Immediate, precise orthopedic intervention is the dividing line between a viable future breeder and a fatal developmental failure. Once a chick navigates these pediatric hazards, it fledges, weans, and matures into a healthy adult, ready to join the flock. Successfully raising a Paionides parrot from egg to independent adult depends on the systematic application of evolutionary biology. We must respect their natural ethology by utilizing the flock choice pairing method, allowing autonomous bonds to form and eliminating mate aggression. We must engineer their physical reality, utilizing suspended bootbox aviaries and specific dietary fatty acids to stimulate their neuroendocrine systems. And we must master the unforgiving clinical parameters of incubation, anatomical feeding risks, and neonatal orthopedic care. These rigorous standards establish captive breeding as an ecological safeguard, preserving the species' genetic integrity far beyond the Amazon basin. For these intelligent parrots, systematic, data-driven husbandry is the only reliable way to ensure they thrive for generations to come.